Okay, so this is a really big box. I'm going to have to probably actually open the box off screen and then do the unboxing once the items are actually out of the box. So hold that thought. Woo! Ta-da! Okay, so I have ordered and received my 2026 Happy Planner. I knew this was arriving today, but I wasn't really planning on doing a video or an unboxing or anything like that. And then when I got it, I was just super excited because it came a lot later than I was expecting it to. And so I honestly was like, oh, it probably won't come until tomorrow. And then when it arrived, I was like, I was just so excited. And so I decided to just start filming. But like I said, I didn't originally want to film this particular video until I had done like a little bit of a planner update video because it's been a while. So I'm gonna take that out of the way for a minute and talk a little bit about where I'm at with my planner situation. Also, my desk is so messy right now. I have so many stickers everywhere and just tape and like all of these things everywhere. Okay, so a little bit of backstory if you're just joining, or if you've missed the last of my few videos or whatever. Backstory, I was in a Hobonichi Cousin Spring Start edition for 2 years as my planner / journal. Loved it. It was great. It was an awesome outlet for me creatively, and I really do credit it with helping me I think just have that experience of finishing a book and just having something really special, and also having a space to be creative and to just have my whole life in one place. It was really nice. However, so I get my one for 2025. Super excited about it. I think I have an unboxing here or something. I know I talked about it obviously, or setup video. I know I've got a couple of those of, various iterations. I get the planner, I'm setting it up. I decide I don't like the way I set it up, so I'm gonna do something different. Don't really care for that setup, but it's okay because April hasn't started yet at this point, and I'll figure it out. So then April does start, and I start using the Hobonichi, and even on my very first April 1st entry, I write in it something to the effect of, I don't know if this is going to work this year. I just had a feeling. It just was not, I just wasn't connected with it. And I'd had it for, I think, 2 months by the time I got the order. And I was not connecting with it whatsoever. So middle of April, 2 weeks in, I ordered, I actually think I ordered it before then. I think I ordered it with like the first week of April, maybe. I ordered this. So this is the Happy Planner big size. Big is their 8.5 by 11. Big size Work Plus Life Deluxe Planner. Their Work Plus Life, they have, I'm assuming, discontinued because they did not have it in this most recent release. If they did, I probably would have ordered it, but they did not. So this was the Work Plus Life Planner. It was on sale or clearance for $15 because it was, a 2025 planner, and we were 3 months into the, at that point, almost 4 months into the year. It was $15, but I had some rewards points that ended up equaling out to, point of the story is I got this for $5. Like it was a great deal for a deluxe planner with metal discs and a deluxe. These are the expander discs I put on, but it had metal classic size discs and the deluxe cover. And anyway, it was a great deal to get it for $5. So I did not feel like I was wasting money, and I was like, I can try this out and see kind of what I think. Excuse me. So I ordered it, it arrives. I started using it the week of, I remember April 14th. It was Holy Week in the Orthodox Church, and I was using it. That's the week I started using it. And like I said, my intention was to maybe use it as a project planner to kind of give myself a little bit of, figuring something out, or maybe figuring out a system that I could use in tandem with my Hobonichi Cousin. I was just trying to figure out something new to do that might work. Anyway, I ended up using this, or rather I have been using this since that week of April, since April 14th. This has been my planner. Now, granted, I only keep a few months in here at a time. This is a tulle cover that I got from Office Depot several years ago, and these are the discs that came with this originally. And I have been saving, these are all like the guts or whatever of the, I don't know why I said the guts of the planner. I actually kind of don't like that phrase, but whatever. So yeah, April, I must have gotten it on the 15th because I crossed out the 15th or the 14th, but I have been using it since then, and I'll eventually maybe do a flip through of this. I don't really know if it's necessary. It's pretty boring. I mean, you can just see it's pretty functional. I have some decor in it, obviously, but like, it's just not, there's just not a lot to it. I mean, I wasn't even really using the months a whole lot. I was just kind of trying to figure out what I was doing. And yeah, so this was just kind of everything. And I've been using it, since April. So there you go. Kind of, that was a very quick flip through of it. Nothing really much to report other than that it took me a while, I think, to accept that this is what I'm back in. There's a lot of things that go into why I think it took me a long time to accept that. I don't want to make it that deep, so I probably won't talk about that at the moment. Well, I guess I will. I don't really have any other thing to do. That I just decided to randomly start filming this video, so why not? Just know that I am kind of all over the place at the moment. So point of the story is, I think I really wanted the aesthetic of a Hobonichi. I loved the aesthetic vibe, if you will. It made me feel creative. It made me feel like a real author. It made me feel like I was just living a creative life, I guess. And I was, by all accounts and purposes. By all intents and purposes. I don't know. Never mind. Point of the story is, this, as you just saw through the flip through, this felt kind of boring to me. It also felt very consumery to me, in just the sense of like plasticky and, live, laugh, love vibes. And I just wasn't really into it, but it was working and it was keeping me more organized than the Happy Planner. And I also found that I was able to have, I won't do a whole flip through, but like I was able to print this big writing schedule out, Sarah Cannon's writing schedule that I had, and I was able to stick it in here, and actually, like, it made sense to have this in my whole planner. I was able to have some brainstorm pages for writing. I was able to have some idea pages, some business type planning pages, a schedule. I just found myself I've been doing word counts here, and not that I couldn't have done this in the Hobonichi. I could have, but I don't know what it was. I never really got into using the index that was very similar to this in the Hobonichi. For some reason, I was just totally on board with using this from the beginning. Also, July was my best writing month in a very long time. You can see this whole year, writing wise, has been really, really rough. I have written some. I've finished entire projects, not a lot, but I've finished a couple projects. But I have just been really behind on writing, and it's just been kind of a rough year creatively. And I've kind of heard that it's been rough for a lot of people in different facets of their life. Just 2025 has been a rough year. It's been a good year. It's not without its good moments, but it's just been a weird year. And I've heard that from a lot of people. But anyway, so I won't do a whole flip through. This is current week. I just feel like I accepted maybe last month officially that I was back in Discbound. And my history with Discbound is my very first, oh look, a Costco card. My very first, when I first got into my planner, like more creative planning, it was 2017. Yes, I know it was 2017 because I'm pretty sure for my birthday that year, I got like a Webster's Pages Traveler's Notebook. I went with Traveler's Notebook first. Sorry, this is shaking too. I went with Traveler's Notebook first, and then I was in that for a few months, and then I think it was that summer, mid to late summer, I got my first classic size Happy Planner, and I was in a Happy Planner for about a year, maybe a year and a half. And that was like at the very beginning of like the real popularity, around the very beginning of the popularity of Happy Planner. Like I had all the original sticker books, you know, I had some of the original covers. Yeah, it was, and I loved it. And I ended up having, I think for about 18 months, I was in that Happy Planner. Then I got overwhelmed at one point, and I just, in kind of an emotional, I was just overwhelmed by clutter and stuff in terms of like all my planner stuff. I just didn't want it. And I was in a different season of life at that point, and I threw it all away. I just dumped it all in my big blue garbage can outside, and I honestly felt great. And then, you know, a year and a half passed. I don't remember what I was using for that time. I could if I went back and looked, but I was in something else. And then I ended up getting a part-time job, and I was like, I need something else to have with me for planning. And I ended up going back to a Happy Planner for the sake of that job, and ended up really loving it again and wanting to get back into it. And I regretted getting rid of all the things I had for it. But it was fine. I was starting fresh. You know, it was okay. And Happy Planner was still very popular at the time. There were a lot of options. So I went back to Happy Planner. Again, used it kind of off and on for about maybe a year. Ended up being like, this is too much, because I've said this before, like there's so many moving parts to a Happy Planner. I would just easily get overwhelmed. So I ended up donating all of the stuff that I had bought that second time around. And I kid you not, 2 years ago, which would have probably been about 2-3 years after that time, I went back to a Happy Planner, a classic Happy Planner, for my writing stuff. So this was probably about 2.5 years ago. Well, actually probably going now on about three and a quarter year ago. I went back into a Happy Planner for writing stuff. Really liked it, but again, got overwhelmed, and I donated my third round of Happy Planner products that I had purchased. Wasteful, I know, I regret it, but it's done, it's over with. I can't live based on the, you know, sunk cost fallacy or whatever. It is what it is. I do kind of regret not having some of those older pieces that I had, but I was in a classic size, and I am in love with the big size. I had started using this this year, but I remember there's a creator that I follow, and I followed her for a while. Her name on YouTube is By Bun. She started using a big size Happy Planner also about like a year and a half ago. And even though initially her video didn't inspire me to get one, I remembered it when I got this, and I'm like, I'm going to go back and see how she does it, because I remembered she was in one. And it, well, I'm not probably, she is just like really creative, and she's very like maximalist with it, and it's really pretty, and I love it. I don't know if I am ready to do that yet, or if I ever will, just because it might be a little bit overwhelming to me again. But regardless, I am just so happy to be in this right now. I think once I finally accepted that the Hobonichi had served its purpose in my life, and I know this sounds ridiculous to talk like so deep about a planner, but anyway, the Hobonichi had served its purpose, and I was ready to move on. And this has just been the function that I need. But I fought it for a while because it felt boring to me. And I think again, it didn't feel as aesthetically pleasing to me as the Hobonichi had. But it's funny because like, it's not like the Hobonichi wasn't consumery. It's not like the Hobonichi didn't have, you know, a plastic cover that I would put on it and stuff. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know. I think because it was a bound book, and I like a bound book, to me feels, like it can be, a bound book feels more archival. This feels very transitory, and I did not like that. Also, I'm going to turn on my fan really quick because I'm getting super warm. I just took off my sweater too, and I'm like, boy, I'm getting really hot in my room right now. Anyway, that was a very long introduction. How far are we into it? Oh my gosh, we are 14 minutes into this video already. Okay, I will do my opening, unboxing, all that jazz. However, I do just want to also make one comment on the last video I made, which I think was late May, early June, and it was on the mini, having a mini on the go planner, like a mini happy planner wallet or a mini on the go planner. I actually think, if I remember correctly, the last time I looked, I think that is my most viewed video now, which makes me feel bad if you have since started following me because you wanted to see my mini happy planner journey. I tried to make that work all summer. I could not. I just could not. Again, I think, I don't know what it was. It just felt way too much. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. I just want one planner. I really, really do. I don't mind having like multiple journals or like a study book and a journal book and I don't mind that. But when it comes to this, I just found myself getting so overwhelmed every time I tried to put my plans into the mini one and then bring it with me. I love the idea of having like lists of things to take with me to the store, like not only groceries, but also like, oh, if I run to the thrift store, what do I want to check for these books? Like I forgot that I wanted to get these books. Let me see. Having a list of books I already have so that I don't buy doubles at the thrift store, that sort of thing. And so anyway, I decided that it just wasn't going to work for me. So some returns were made for the things that I could return. The other things I've just put away and I will use them as I want to. Maybe I'll use them in some collaging, some of the things. Maybe I will use them in, you know, just things I could stick in here. In fact, actually, a little sneak peek, in my order, I did get some mini filler paper, but I got this honestly for this, just so I could stick in for quick little notes and stuff. Because when I ordered this, I already knew I wasn't going to use the mini happy planner, but I like this colored paper. So I got this for just additional notes. But anyway, so that's kind of the update on the mini happy planner. And this is the update on this. I know I didn't really do like a full flip through, but just know that this, I'm just really trying to use up the things that I have. I have all this scrapbook paper, so I made some dividers to separate out sections. And I honestly plan on, when I put this new one together, I actually plan on kind of doing that again. And maybe I'll do another video where it's actually a full-on setup, because I want it to be a bit more streamlined and a bit more, I want it to make a bit more sense to me. I have had a bit of a time figuring out how I want this to look and feel in terms of including like my business stuff in it and my writing and my, I'm also starting to do an art, like a do-it-yourself like art program. And so I want to have some of that in here, but I want to, yeah, anyway. I'd also thought briefly about having like a home planner, like making one of these for a home binder with homeschool stuff in it. And I just, it's too much. I can't do it. I just need one planner. That's all I need. So I am going to stop this video here. Well, it'll feel like it's a stop. I'll pick back up in just a second. I don't really like to edit, but my husband and son are getting ready to go on a bike ride and I want to say goodbye to them. So I'm going to stop this video, say goodbye to them, and then I will pop back on to unbox the order. All right, hang tight. Okay, and if I already said, I do apologize for the glare. It's that weird time of day where I'm not getting really any natural light in, but it's too dark. If I turn that off, I feel like it's way too dark. Yeah, so it's not great. Sorry about the ring light glare. Okay, I guess I'll go through these things first though. So I ordered this big size black paper from the Happy Planner. I thought this would be fun for, because I guess one thing I didn't really show, one of the things that has been really fun in here is going ahead and adding in some of my own things. Like I made some calendars for the church cycle. I did, I have some brain dump pages. I did this whole thing for like the ecclesiastical season of the church year. So I really do like doing kind of some of this a little bit. I have a lot of Sarah Cannon printables in there too. And I like this black paper for the sake of maybe doing some, like if I had a big project I was working on and I wanted to use like neon or white gel pen or whatever, like I just thought it'd be kind of fun. So I got this, it was like $2. Then I had already showed this mini Happy Planner paper. I don't know why I said Happy Planner, you know it's Happy Planner. This mini paper, just for quick notes or ideas or whatever. Thought that'd be good. I got 2 sticker books. One was on clearance for $8. I think it was $8.99. Oh, and this is the other thing. Just using a big Happy Planner, I want less choice. I want fewer options because I get overwhelmed very easily and I just don't need so many options. I need easier. I don't actually have it with me right now, but an example I go to a lot when I talk to my husband about this is I have this stainless steel army green colored water bottle. I was trying to drink more water and I wanted a stainless steel, like, I don't know, 32, 64 ounce water bottle or whatever. I was at Grocery Outlet and they had some stainless steel ones for very affordable. They were like $10, right? This was like maybe 2 years ago. It's this army green color. I would not ever normally, I like that olive green color. It's not a color. I'm more of a cool toned gal. And I just would have not ever I would have not ever willingly chosen that color, but it was the only one they had and I needed one and it was affordable. So I got it and I still use that. That is my water bottle. I have not, and I don't know, ever since then, I know it sounds really goofy, but I'm like, I just hate having so many options. And I just need fewer options. So all of that to say, with the big happy planner being in a big one, I really have decided that unless it's something very specifically like seasonal, which you'll see in a second, I really am only going to get the big sticker packs because I already don't use all the stickers anyway. I am a sucker for a seasonal sticker book though. This is the seasonal whimsy one. And I got it in the big size because it's like, that's what I'm using. I don't need a classic one. And then my options are limited. Like if it's not in the big size, I'm not going to get it. However, I made one exception, the brand new Halloween sticker book, which is a classic size. Again, it is seasonal in a sense, and I just felt like it really went with, I just really loved this one. I loved the purple foil. I love purple. I also felt like it kind of just went with like a fun, spooky vibe that I could use. Oh my, this is really cool. That's like, oh, I like that a lot. It's like a matte black. It's not foil. That's really cool. Maybe it's foil. Is that black foil? I don't think it is, but it's definitely, I don't know. I just really liked this sticker book. And being that I like to write kind of fun, spooky things, I just felt like this was a good one to have. So I got that one. And then this is the seasonal whimsy one. Oh, I didn't realize it had letters. I'm a sucker for some good letters. But this was just a big seasonal one. And like I've said like 3 times, I'm a sucker for seasonal. And so I went with it. And again, it was like $9. This was $19.99. So much money. But I didn't actually end up spending a lot less than I originally planned. So my husband did not mind. Okay, so what I ended up doing, because I think I already mentioned it, they did not... they didn't make an announcement or anything. I'm just assuming they discontinued the Work Plus Life layout. And just for the record, I think I have a blank one in here. Well, I should have a blank one in here. Okay. So October. Okay, so the way the Work Plus Life layout works. Sorry, that's probably really difficult to see. The way the Work Plus Life layout worked, and this probably hasn't even been in frame the whole time. Oh my gosh, guys, sorry. The way the Work Plus Life layout works is actually really nice. So I'm just going to rip out the whole month, or pull out the whole month. And you'll notice, if you're familiar with the Happy Planner, usually this back page is like plans for this month too. It's like your, priorities or whatever for this month. So you can't really remove an entire month. I really like the Work Plus Life because you can. This note page on the back of each month can be used for the next month if you want it to, but I kind of use it, I tie it in, as you'll see. This was my September month, and then I tie in this page for September to kind of wrap up the month or any final additional notes or things that I want to do for the next month or whatever. So what I liked about the Work Plus Life is you can remove an entire month, divider and all, and it doesn't impact the planner. You don't feel like you're leaving one random page in. And you'll see that in the next one because I obviously could not get a Work Plus Life planner. So if that sounds confusing, you'll see it when I show you the one I got. Anyway, then it opens up to your month, and I don't know, I love the space in a big size Happy Planner. I was fine in the A5, the cousin, but this is really nice. I tend to write medium to big size handwriting, and this has just been really wonderful to use, and I'm not precious with it. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air, to be honest. It just feels very freeing, even though I fought it for a while. Anyway, okay, moving on. So then you go into, after the month, you go into this spread. You've got your grid box up here that goes along the top of the page, a focus on box with a dot grid, important dates. Is this in frame? Yeah, sorry. And again, I don't even know if you can even see this. Hopefully you can. I can always rip it out and kind of, you know. So anyway, it looks kind of like that. Important dates and a to-do list, a very long to-do list. And what I've done is I've kind of tried a couple different iterations. But this time around in September, I just went ahead and decided to kind of write down something I wanted to focus on for the month. Of course, some to-do lists, some things I wanted to do within this planner because I knew I was going to order the new one and I wanted to kind of have more of a system. Release is kind of the word I gave myself for the fall season. And then over here, you've got these goal sections, right? So goal 1, action steps, gives you 3 spots, reflect. And then you can do that for 3 goals. This page, I will admit, has never fully worked for me. I have tried, and I've even like checked some things off over the last several months. The problem is I don't care for this reflect box. I don't know what it is. This particular layout of the goals just does not really work for me. I also just don't think I care for this reflection box. I feel like I would rather have more task list. I feel like maybe if there was a prompt here, and I'm not really a prompt gal when it comes to like reflection or journals, but like I don't know how to reflect on this, I guess. Maybe that sounds goofy, but it's just not, it just is what it is. I've used it, I've set goals, but I just haven't really, I don't know, I've needed something a little bit different, but I like having this kind of spread. Okay, so then it goes into your weeks, and you've got the box, and then it's an hourly layout, 7 to 7. Over here, again, hopefully this is in screen, you've got a lined section here, a little focus box that's blank, and then a dot grid blank section down here. It is very functional. I need the time, visually, this really helps me see what time I have throughout the week. So I have really enjoyed having this planner. Okay. However, like I have said already a few times, they did not have the Work Plus Life planner with this most recent release. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was really hoping they would have a Work Plus Life. They didn't. It's fine. They did, however, add they now have custom planners. So you can basically build your own planner. And they now have a big size version of that. And you can pick whatever layout you want. And they have the productivity layout, which is very similar to Work Plus Life, but it is different. And I will just a few little tweaks, and I'll show you that in a second, obviously. So let's go ahead and open this. Oh, it's taped here. All right, never mind. Okay. All right, so the one I got, okay, was this one, and that glare is probably really bad. This is the Dark Garden, and I'll just move this out of the way. So this is the Dark Garden one, and it says agenda. I love that it doesn't say the year on it. It also, this is just a regular plastic cover. I actually really loved having this deluxe cover on here. And even at one point, I had an old plastic regular Happy Planner, big size Happy Planner cover here too, on the inside. And I really liked that. I just took it out to make a little bit more room. It was hard to find one that I was fully vibing with, but I liked this one because it didn't have the year on it. And it had, I don't know, these florals were really pretty to me. They're not 70s floral, but they kind of remind me of that a little bit. I like the idea of like dark floral. It's just kind of nice. But I also recently bought this tulle cover from Office Depot in this really pretty purple cover. And my like brand colors, if you can call them that, I have purple in there. My Etsy shop and my Substack are both called Purple Nude Press. Purple's my favorite color. And there's purple on this. And so I thought that could look really pretty if I stuck this in here. And I wanted this on bigger discs, obviously, but I thought I might do this. I just think that looks really, really pretty, even with that horrid glare on it. It's really bad. I should have probably picked a different time to film this video, but whatever. So anyway, I think I'm gonna do that when I set it up. But let me go ahead and open this. because the dividers are in here too. And what I thought was also really fun, oh, and they did have a deluxe cover for the Dark Garden as well. It was like this black, it was this same, plasticky faux leather thing. It was black with like an embossed floral design on it, and then like little gold polka dots, and it said plans in gold. It was cute, but I wasn't, if it had been all black, and even if it said plans on the cover and it had been all black, I would have probably gotten it because I could have put a sticker over it, because that's what I did with this. This said 2025 on it in a silver foil, and I just covered it up with a sticker because I didn't want the year on it. I would have done the same thing with that, but with the embossing on it, I just didn't know how that was going to work, and I just was like, it's fine. And one thing I will say as a negative for the big size Happy Planner products, you can fit a full 8.5 by 11 sheet here, but it doesn't go down all the way. It kind of like sticks like right up here. And you can't even in the Happy Planner big size folders, you cannot stick a full 8.5 by 11 paper in it. So these are from Tool, because the Tool ones will fit a full 8.5 by 11 sheet in it. The Happy Planner big size ones will not. So that's just something, if you're kind of new or you're considering a big size, just keep that in mind. And you can get those Tool products from like Office Depot, Office Max, whichever one it is. I will say this is a little scratched up for being brand new, but it's not a deal breaker for me. But just for the record, it does seem, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it is a little bit, I mean, not a deal breaker to me, but I'm a little surprised to see that. Like, it's pretty bad. Actually, again, not a deal breaker. It's fine. Ooh, I did not know that this was the inside. That is lovely. Okay, so the way they did this, each month's dashboard is that month's birth flower, which I think is really cute. I'm not really big into like horoscopes and like astrological signs, but I say I'm not really big into it. I'm not into it at all. But this though is pretty. I really like this idea. It's a fun way to kind of do a seasonal planner. And again, with the custom planners, what's really nice is the dividers are double-sided. So you can again remove that whole month, sort of, with an asterisk. I'll show you in a second. But the divider can be reusable. Usually there's a calendar on the other side of the divider. There's not, obviously, on these ones. So that's very nice. So we've got January, February, March, and hopefully these are in March is mine. I'm a daffodil. Daisy for April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Okay, so very pretty. I love this. That's very nice. That's very nice. Okay, so this is the cover I'm going with. I thought it was definitely up my alley. I'm gonna see if I can stick this back in here. I do want to set this up, but sorry, that sound of the plastic is probably really annoying. I'll do this later, so you don't have to be subjected to the horrible plastic sound. Okay, so that's that. Now I got really quick. It also came with, you can pick your discs. I paid a little extra to get black metal expander discs. One, I don't have any black metal discs, but two, I have gotten to a point where it is very difficult for me to use non-metal discs on a disc-bound system. They just are so much better. The paper moves better on them. They're great. This is the biggest waste of plastic in the whole world. Not really, but like they give you these so that you can like line up and put your planner together. And I don't know, maybe it is helpful. I guess I've never really used it. I just feel like it's a waste of, this is a waste to me. It's just plastic. I get it. That's a tool though. I understand. And if you're new to the Happy Planner and this is your first experience, maybe it's easier for you. So I shouldn't judge. And I also thought the black metal discs would go nicely with this too, because this already has black on the edge and it just would work. I almost got gold because there's the gold foil on this cover, but then I'm like, I don't want gold with the purple, or I don't want gold discs with the purple. I want the black. So anyway, I got the black expander discs, metal. And then let me move this. Then here is the actual planner itself. So you do, of course, have to go in and stick in the dividers. I got the productivity layout, or productivity layout, however you want to say it. And so the way the productivity layout looks, and it comes with a little cardboard thing on the back, so it's to like keep it all, you know, in place or whatever. The way that this one works, and is this probably not in the frame? Gosh, that lighting is so bad, guys. Can I turn it up? I don't know if it matters. You've been staring at this horrible light for the whole day, or the whole video. What, how far are we into this? Oh my gosh, what a long, ridiculous video. Okay, so then this will probably most likely be my word count again. Okay, then you get into the months. Now this is where, let me grab, okay, so this is where, like I was saying, this is what you have on the back of the months now. So this, I guess you'll see it more so when I get to it, but like if this was February, right, this is going to be the last week of January, and then this is going to be February, right? So you can't really take out all of January if you want to keep this one in. And if you want to keep this one in, you're going to have this one random, like, you know, decorated, filled out week for January. So it's kind of, and you'll see that when I get to the next one. But anyway, so you'll stick in your divider. And so this is the only difference from the Work Plus Life. And this is what you're going to find in most happy planners now. It's the priorities. You have 3 priorities, a grid space for important, whatever, and then a note section, and then holidays down here and all that. You can use this however you want. I haven't used this particular layout. So I've had a productivity layout before. I just haven't I haven't figured out a way to use this particularly because I haven't had to. So, you know, anyway, so that's that. I'm not going to stick that in quite yet though. Okay. So then you have your month still in frame. Cool. I just keep forgetting how, like, it looks like it's so much further over than the phone, but so you've got your month. It's great. Awesome. Okay. This is where it is slightly similar to the Work Plus Life layout. Rest in peace, Work Plus Life, I think. Let me see though. Let me grab out the October one. So with the October one, on this side, on the left side, in the October one, it was this layout with the, you know, all that. In the Work Plus Life, you have space for 2 goals. And so it's basically backwards, right? It's backwards. So you've got this, your 3 goals here on the right side in the Work Plus Life. In the productivity, you have 2 goals on the left side, and you've got your goal, your three like tasks, and then again a reflection page. It does have a prompt though: what worked last month and how can I apply those strategies to this goal? So that at least gives me a little bit more structure to work with if I needed it. However, I don't know if I'm even going to use this for that again. I don't know, because this is whereas on the left-hand side of the Work Plus Life, you got this big section with to-dos and all that. Here you have this things to follow up on. And you've got these, and this is in the productivity layout, things to follow up on, and you've got these 4 boxes with their own to-do lists, and you could categorize this really easily. I'm not 100% sure what I'll do yet. I might try a couple things. I could do home, work, church, personal. I could do writing, art, Etsy, I don't know, reading, whatever, right? You could do a couple different things. You could also do something completely, you could do like movies to watch, books to read, you know, I don't know, whatever. You could do social media posts to make, blog, whatever you're doing. It's all about like more function in this one. So I think I will kind of play around with it and figure out what works best for me. But this is the difference in the layouts. I love this page. I think here's what I kind of wish. I kind of wish that it was this and this. This to me, if it was this side of this left-hand side of the Work Plus Life, get rid of the goal page and then have this. This is so incredibly functional and also very, very customizable. You could do anything with this spread. You could do meals. You could do homeschool stuff. You could do work stuff. I mean, I just think this is like this would be perfect for me. I love this so much actually just looking at it, but alas, I cannot. I am stuck with this 2 goal page, but hey, maybe 2 goals is better for me than 3. Okay, then you go into your weeks, and this is also slightly different. Your box, and here, I'll just grab out, and I don't even really know why I'm comparing it with the Work Plus Life, because again, I am pretty sure they have discontinued it, but I will just for the sake of fun. So on your left hand, well, I guess we'll start with this hand. In the productivity layout, you've got a focus box, a smaller, you can tell the box is a lot smaller than, it's smaller in the productivity layout than it is in the Work Plus Life. Because you have these 2 additional things in this one, right? It's a daily habit. So you can write your daily habit. You know, you could do, for me, like as a writer, like write 500 words, practice drawing for 30 minutes, right? So I could make a check mark if I do it, and then I could write my word count if I wanted to. And then I could write how long I did drawing or whatever. So you can check off, or if maybe you have to like check your email every day for work, email, you know. So that's nice. It still goes 7 to 7, which is good. And you just have that shorter box there. And then you have still the, and your focus is just up here and instead of there. And then in the productivity, sorry, this is kind of confusing. The Work Plus Life has their dot grid down here. Productivity, it's right here in the middle. And then you've got your lined notes section at the bottom, as opposed to in the Work Plus Life, it's at the top. So that is the difference there. I think this will be really good for me. I don't know what I will do with the habits. Again, I might try a couple different things. I might do like, I could make them work related. I could also make them, you know, personal life related, like get dressed every day. That's something, it's so easy sometimes to just stay in sweats all day. I'm at home. It'd be nice I should get ready. I always feel better when I get ready. So I could make it a habit 1 month to like try and get ready every day or whatever. I'm not a big habit tracker, but things like that are kind of fun to like, you know, track like that. So anyway, this is the productivity layout. I actually think the Work Plus Life, if I remember correctly, when they first came out with the Work Plus Life, I actually think it had this in there, but don't quote me on that. I just remember when those came out because it was kind of a cool idea. I think this was also the Girls with Goals layout that they had, and they've just kind of rebranded it. And truth be told, it kind of makes sense. These ultimately, at the end of the day, are very similar layouts, and there's really no reason to have 2 of them. Again, I just say I think my biggest thing is I wish this was just that other left-hand side page, because I really, really, really like that. Actually, you know what I could do? I could just make copies of a blank one. Oh my gosh, do I want to do that? I could make copies of this one. They might even have something like it on Etsy, but I could just make some copies of this. I would just always have to white out the month, but that's fine. And then I could just glue them on. Oh my gosh. Do I want to do that? Truth be told, that would honestly be so much better for me. Because I just already know, like, I am just probably, I don't know though, because then again, maybe that's too much space for me. I was saying I don't want a lot of choices. Maybe to have 4 categories of to-dos and then this big random to-do list, maybe that actually, I'll have to think about it, because maybe that could get overwhelming too. Maybe I really could make this work. I'll make sure to make a few copies of this just so I have one. So I have a couple in case I decide to do that. But this could work. Either way, I'll figure it out. I have time I've got a few months left of the year to make it work. But all of that to say, that is kind of the quick unboxing random video of, oh, and I think, let me also, yes, okay. So the other thing with and this will be my last thing, the other thing with the custom planners, and this is actually really nice, is you get after your full year, January through December or whatever, you know, I think for this release, it's January, you get the January through December. And if it's the middle, like the summer release, you get July through June or what, or maybe it's an 18-month one. I can't remember, but they change the dates with the big releases for these custom planners. But you get is it 2 or 3? I think it's 2. Yeah, 2 blank months. So if I wanted to, there's technically like 3.5 months left of the year, so I might as well just wrap up my my Work Plus Life one, and so I can complete another planner, which would be nice. But you do get 2 undated months included, which is really nice. There's also an option to add in some additional packs, like accessory. They're not really accessory packs, but like you can get 6 months of undated budget pages, or 6 months of undated dashboard layout, or 6 months of undated faith pages, or whatever. So that is really nice if you want to add on some of those. I think there's a meal planning one and stuff. I just kept it simple. I find that I don't always use those kinds of things. Also, they each come, all of those they're not really accessory packs, but additional packs come with their own dividers. Like the budget one is budget, right? And that's cool, except, and again, and it's like a double-sided divider, so you can move it around from planner to planner, which is really cool. Problem is, all of the dividers have a top tab, and that drives me crazy. If they had all had, you know, like going down, like 5 or 6 or whatever, so like one was this one was that one was that, I might, because you can order as many accessory packs as you want. Well, you can order like one of each of them, you know, when you get a customizable one. You have to pay for them, but, you know, I might have gotten some of them, because then I could have had different, like, staggered dividers. They're all right there. That drove me crazy. So I couldn't have done that. So anyway, because I'm just goofy like that, I make mountains out of molehills. So anyway, this is my planner for 2026. Sorry, this was definitely extra long. I'm super excited about it. Rest in peace, Work Plus Life, but I think that the productivity one will be really good and probably makes the most sense. Maybe eventually I will do a flip through or a setup video. I'm not sure. Planner videos, these kind of videos are really fun for me, but they also can sometimes take it out of me because I just feel a little overwhelmed at the end. Not horrible. I like making videos. Actually, I also plan on making another video, kind of a non-planner related video. I finished my first sketchbook, and I think I want to do a flip through of my very first sketchbook that I finished. It's not very good, but I think I want to do a flip through of that too. So anyway, I have really been enjoying being in the Big Happy Planner. I have not been as creative this year while using it as I was the previous 2 years using a Hobonichi. However, the planner is a tool. It's not the planner that made me creative. It's just this particular season of life was a little bit more difficult to navigate, and I just so happened to be in a different planner. That's all it is. Your planner is not a talisman. It is a tool. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue to work through this year, and then to start in this in January. Also, just random last side note, just for the sake of sharing, I am a sucker for seasonal. I don't care for normally having like florals all year long. I don't like seeing like, you know, bright garden florals in December. That just really throws me off. I don't like it. But this one I was okay with because it's the birth month flowers. So it didn't seem to bother me as much. That might change, my tune might change later down the road, but I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't bother me as much, because it's like the birth month flower, or like your birthstone, right? Or your birth month flower. I don't know. It just didn't seem to bother me as much. Plus, I don't know. Like, it's white for, you know, it's kind of wintry. It's kind of fall-y. So, like, it works. It's good. I can work with it. So, I'm super excited to set this up. And also, I only put in 3 months at a time. So, I will probably find a different home for the bulk of this, and then just have a few months in here at a time. But anyway, okay, I've gone on long enough. I'm super excited about this. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and have a blessed day. Bye.